Afternoon guys, Dave Canterbury at the Pathfinder School, out here at my semi-permanent camp area here at the Pathfinder School. This area got pretty well flooded the other night. It's in a low-lying area, but it's better than some of the ridges around here that have a lot of deadfall and things like that. Widowmaker's caves are also a flash flood area here. It's easier to get out of this area, and the rains we had here the night before last, I've been told by the locals, haven't been that bad since they've ever lived here. So the flash flood that we had through this area, which is basically up and down in just a few hours, is a very uncommon occurrence. So I feel pretty comfortable keeping this as a fairly permanent camp area unless we're going to get torrential downpours. But it's a pretty nice area, and I like it here. It's in the woods, it's away from everything, it's peaceful and it's quiet. I thought what I'd do today is I'd come out here and do a product review for you guys on a new product that we are carrying at the Pathfinder School. We have exclusive distribution rights to this product. Every once in a while, you know, somebody new will come into the scene of bushcraft and survival, and they'll come up with an idea that is very, very good. And when something like that happens, I like to help a brother bushcrafter out anytime that I can. And just because someone comes out with a new product is great, you know, just because they're new to the business or new and inexperienced at bushcraft or survival doesn't mean their idea is silly or bad. Sometimes their ideas are great. And this product is called Mini Inferno, and it was invented by Roger Fandrich out of California. And I was pretty impressed with the product when he sent me some individual samples of it. And I wanted to help him market the product a little bit because he got a lot of hassle from the bushcraft community about being new to the scene and trying to market product and squeeze his way in. And everybody makes mistakes, you know, along the way when they do these type of things. But I like to help new guys along and kind of bring them up so that they can be beneficial to the community, especially when they have great ideas, because, you know, learning together is what this is all about. It's always been what I've been about, you know, let's learn together. That's what I'm all about in the Pathfinder system. And this product, Mini Inferno, is a very, very good product. One of the things that I have preached all along, or taught all along in the Pathfinder system, is that the one thing you should always have with you, besides your cutting tool, is surefire. And a lighter does not mean surefire. Neither does necessarily a ferro rod. Now a strike force and wet fire, that's pretty much surefire, but it doesn't last a long period of time. You can't even boil a cup of water with one wet fire cube. This Mini Inferno product comes in a tin, and inside the tin there are, I think, 6 cakes inside here, and I'll show you those in a minute. And if you smell them, you can smell accelerant on them. And they have wax embedded in them as well, into a cotton cloth. But there's 45 minutes of burn time in this tin, and one of these alone will burn for 7 to 10 minutes. And if it's wet, it actually extends the burn time a little bit, and it will burn if it's soaking wet, and that's what's important. So in a combination of a ferro rod and this, you have a very good package for surefire even in wet weather. Now we had a torrential downpour here night before last. It's really, really wet in this whole area. The fire pit in front of me is soaked. All the stuff that's on the ground is soaking wet. And I'm going to get some of that stuff together right now, and I'm going to show you how well this product works. We're actually going to wet this product on purpose in the creek before we even start the fire to actually test how well it works if it gets damp or wet. So stay with me, and I'll be right back. Okay, I have one of these biscuits from the Mini Inferno in my hand, and you can see this is my flooded creek right here. I'm going to take this thing and just dunk it completely under the water, shake it off, and you can see it sheds water pretty good. Now I'm going to take it over here and try to light her up. I don't even want to turn this camera off because I don't want you to think that I did something shady on you here. So I'm going to carry this thing straight over here to the fire pit with the camera on. Excuse me if this takes up video time to do this, but I want you to know what's going on here. So I'm just going to set a couple pieces in here that are flat, just to give myself a dry area. And I'm not really trying to start a fire right now. All I want to do is make sure that this stuff will produce sure flame, and how long it produces sure flame to give me that time to start a fire, and then we'll start a fire with it. So let me zoom in here a little bit. There we go. I'm going to take this thing and I'm just going to, you can see there's still water coming out of that thing, and I'm going to rip it a little bit to expose some fibers there, just like that. Put it down here. Get my ferro rod off my knife sheath. and my knife. This is a brand new ferro rod, so I'll have to scrape the coating off of it. There we go. Okay. Well, that took 4 or 5 strikes, guys, but I think I was missing the target area there just a little bit. But as you can see, we do have a flame. With something that I just had dunked in the creek and it was soaking wet. So with that said, I would say that we definitely have sure fire even in wet conditions. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start my watch, even though I've already lit this thing, and we'll see how long she burns. You can see that's a nice big high flame. Obviously all this tinder around here is soaking wet from the flood debris. You can see that. But this stuff, you know, if I build a fire around this and let that stuff dry out a little bit, it's going to catch fire. There's no doubt about that sooner or later. I just have to stick the sticks in there to do it. I really don't want to build a fire with it yet because I want to wait. We'll build a fire with wet materials in a minute with it. But I want to see, I'm pretty sure that this product, according to the inventor, once this biscuit burns out, if you let it burn completely out, so maybe you start your fire and then you pull it out after your fire's started, that you can use that biscuit or that piece of cloth as char cloth as well, which would help you with your next fire. So I'm going to let this burn for a little while, see how long it burns, and then we're going to see if we can make char cloth with it as well. It's already been burning for 1 minute and 15 seconds, again, after it was fully engulfed in flame. I'll show you real quick while we have the camera running. You can see the Pathfinder logo and the Back to the Basics logo off to the side. The PathfinderSchoolLLC.com Mini Inferno. Comes in a nice tin. You can use this tin, you know, to make char cloth in once it's spent, or to keep some type of kit in, small fishing kit or something like that as well. You know, you have this shiny lid until you do make char cloth in it, so you could use that as a sealing device in an emergency situation as well if you needed to. But it's a very nice product, and the Pathfinder School has written exclusivity to this product. No one else can sell this product unless it has the Pathfinder logo on it, and we wholesale it to them. So the Pathfinder School LLC will be the only direct source for Mini Inferno from here on out. And it will be on our website very shortly. I believe the cost of this is around $9 for 6 biscuits that will burn, you know, 5 to 7 minutes probably per brick. So it's definitely in the less expensive realm than the wet fire is. But at the same time, it's also more useful in a lot of ways because it's multi-purpose. And that's very important with anything that I do. I want to make sure it is multi-purpose. So when this burns out, I'm hoping it creates char cloth. That becomes multi-purpose. When this tin's empty, I can use it for a char tin. That becomes multi-purpose. Or I can use it for a small kit tin. This lid being shiny, until I do something to destroy it, like make char cloth in it, will make a decent signal mirror if I have to have it. So this becomes a multi-purpose item in my kit. For that $9 price tag, you know, my life's worth $9 for sure in an emergency where I have to have fire in wet conditions. Still burning. Been 3 minutes and 5 seconds, guys. I'm going to shut the camera off because I don't want to run a bunch of film time just to watch this thing burn. I do have my stopwatch running, and I'll take it off and show you when this thing gets burned out where we're at. So stay with me and I'll be right back. Okay guys, my flame has now gone out. It's still smoldering and smoking down there. We are at 5 minutes and 5 seconds, and I didn't start the timer until the thing was fully engulfed in flames. So I'd say that 5 to 7 minute claim is pretty accurate. Now what I want to do is I want to make sure that this thing is fully out by snuffing it out. So I'm going to pick it up, and I'm actually going to put it inside the tin and put the lid on it and snuff it completely out, and then we're going to try and see if it became truly charred cloth. So let me go see if I can find a bird nest, and I'll be right back. Okay, I've got a small bird nest collected up here. Not a very consequential one, but it's decent. And I've got this charry material here that I got from my leftover burnt piece of mini Inferno here, and I'm going to try to get it to catch a spark and see how she works here. If I can get it to stay up on top of this log long enough. Okay. It actually flamed up a little bit. See that? That's better than charred cloth. Hell, that thing's on fire. So even just a little bit left in there actually caught that thing on fire. You can see that piece is still on fire right there. So even letting that thing burn almost completely out, it still gave me another bite at the apple. That's a good thing. There's no doubt I could start another fire with that. Okay guys, well that was just a quick test of the mini Inferno. So far I burnt one piece to make sure it would burn while it was wet. I took a piece that was smoldering basically and put it back in the tin, took it back out, hit it with a ferro rod again, expecting it only to act like charred cloth, but yet it actually caught flame. So that's a good thing too. That makes it multi-purpose. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to get some marginal wet materials and actually start a fire with this mini Inferno in way less than desirable conditions. Everything around here is pretty wet. I had to travel pretty far to get that dry grass for a bird nest a second ago. Now I'm just going to collect some materials right around here in this flood debris from the other day, and we'll try to start a fire using that and that alone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to back this camera up, and I'm just going to point it down here, and you can see the piles of flood debris out here around these trees. You can see that's flood debris right there. All that's flood debris. And that's pretty much where I'm going to collect my materials from, is right here in this flooded area of this creek bank to make my fire. So be patient. Let me walk around here and grab some stuff. Throw my mini Inferno down. Stuff's, oh yeah, that's definitely damp there, without a doubt. Throw that over my fire pit. Again, there's some, it's cracking pretty good, but it's still, there's no doubt that stuff is still wet. And it's sucked up a lot of moisture. So just go through here and grab some of these sticks out of these piles of flood debris here. Not going to be too picky about it because I really don't care if they're wet, or at least if they're a little damp anyway. Okay guys, here's a pile of sticks. You can see there's still wet debris on these sticks. Throw that down here in my pile. That's what we're going to start with. So let's put kind of a dry base down here to start off with. And then I'll use this wet stuff that I've got right here, and I'm just going to build a small teepee right here. I'm not even worried that some of this stuff is larger diameter than is optimum, to tell you the truth. That's how much confidence I've got in the heat that one of these is going to put off. Grab another disc out of here. I'm going to tear it just a little bit to expose some fibers, like that. Just kind of put it in a cone shape right there. Pull it out a little bit here so I can get to it. Now that it's on fire, I'll slide it up in that little teepee. We'll zoom this camera in on that fire here. We'll see how she does. You can see this stuff is way less than optimum material I'm grabbing. This stuff is right in this flood debris. Right here. That's still got mud all over it actually. Grab some smaller stuff and put it on there. You see all the smoke coming off of that from the wetness. We got some wet leaves here. Put them on top. That wet material is just sucking the heat right out of that fire, guys. But the Mini Inferno still holding strong. It gave me enough heat to get some wood on fire. Now if I just got to apply oxygen to it to keep it burning and get that wood around it dried out, then it's done its job. Look at that. Now we're catching on the top of the fire. Let me zoom this out just a little bit for you. There you go. Okay guys, so again, I'm Dave Canterbury at the Pathfinder School. Testing out a new product today, the Mini Inferno. Looks like it's working pretty good. No doubt in my mind that this is sure flame, and that's what's important, is sure flame. I think we're going to set this up on our website as a package deal, as well as selling it alone in the tin with a ferrocerium rod that we currently sell for like $6. I think we're going to combine that package with this Mini Inferno for around a $12 or $13 price tag. So for that price, very good common man price, a lot less than you can buy some ferro rods for, you can have a complete fire kit that will give you sure flame, wet or dry. So again, I'm Dave Canterbury at the Pathfinder School. I thank you for your support. I thank you for joining me. And Roger Fandrich, inventor of Mini Inferno, this is a great product, buddy. I am proud to have the exclusive on this product. So we'll point down to this fire one more time for you guys so you can see the sure fire that the Mini Inferno provided. You can see even with wet materials, you can easily have a sustainable fire.